Good morning, students. I am your teacher today in Science 6, Mr. James. So are you ready? Okay, let's proceed. So before we start, I want you to get your pen and your science textbook. Okay? Next. Okay, before we start our discussion, let's have a quick revision about water cycle. So when we say water cycle, it is the movement of water through Earth's systems powered by the sun's energy. In the water cycle, the water vapor enters the atmosphere by evaporation from the ocean and other bodies of water and leaves by condensation. So when we say evaporation is the process by which molecules of liquid water escapes in the air after becoming water vapor. Okay, next, condensation is the process by which water vapor becomes liquid water. Some of the water vapor in the atmosphere condenses to form clouds. Rain and snow falls from the clouds toward the surface as precipitation. The water then runs off the surface or moves through the ground back into lakes, streams, and eventually ocean. Then the water cycle starts all over again with evaporation. So when we say water cycle, it is a continuous process. Okay, next. Okay, our lesson for today is all about clouds. So I want you to open your book on page 428. Clouds. Objectives in this lesson. So objective 1, explain how clouds form. Objective 2, name the 3 main types of clouds. So are you ready, students? Okay. Let's proceed to our main lesson, clouds. Okay, vocabulary words: dew point, cirrus, cumulus, stratus. So at the end of this lesson, okay, you will understand all these 4 words. Okay, next. Okay, how do clouds form? Page 428. So when you look at the clouds, you are seeing millions of tiny water droplets or ice crystals. Clouds forms when water vapor in the air condenses to form liquid water or ice crystals. So condensation is the process where gas particles turns into liquid particles. So that is condensation. Okay, let's do a quick recap on how do clouds form. So first, the sun heats up water and land surfaces. Next, warm air and water vapor rises. And then cold air meets water vapor, condensation occurs. So remember, when we say condensation, it is the process where gas particles turns into liquid particles. But how does water in the atmosphere condense? Do you have any idea how? Okay, there are 2 conditions required for condensation. So what are those 2 conditions? So first, cooling of the air and the presence of particles in the air. So we'll talk about this on our next slide. Okay, just stay tuned. Okay, page 429, the role of cooling. As you have learned, cold air holds less water vapor than warm air. Okay, as air cools, the amount of water vapor it can hold decreases. The water vapor condenses into tiny droplets or water or ice crystals. So remember, the temperature at which condensation begins is what we call dew point. Okay, so dew point is the temperature where the condensation begins. Okay? Okay, remember, if the dew point is above freezing, the water vapor forms droplets. What if the dew point is below freezing? Okay, the water vapor may change directly into ice crystals. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed. Of particles. For water vapor to condense and form clouds, tiny particles must be present in the atmosphere so that the water has a surface on which to condense. Most of these particles are salt crystals, dust from soil, or smoke. Water vapor also condenses on solid surfaces such as blades of grass or window panes. Okay, liquid water that condenses from the air onto a cooler surface is called dew, and ice deposited on the surface that is below freezing is called frost. Okay, next. 430. What are the three main types of clouds? Scientists classify clouds into three main types based on their shape. Cirrus, Cumulus, and Stratus Clouds are further classified by their altitude. So remember, when we say altitude, it is the elevation above sea level. Okay? So each type of cloud is associated with different type of weather. Cirrus clouds are thin clouds made of crystals that form very high in the sky. These clouds are the highest clouds, and the temperature at the height where they form is about 30 degrees below zero, which is why they are made of ice crystals. Cirrus clouds typically appear when the weather is nice and will stay that way. Altocumulus and Altostratus. Clouds that forms between 2 and 6 kilometers above Earth's surface have the prefix alto, which means high. The two main types of these clouds are Altocumulus and Altostratus. These are medium-level clouds that are higher than regular cumulus and stratus clouds, but lower than cirrus clouds. So if you see these clouds, it indicates precipitation. So within these two pictures, which one do you think is the Altocumulus cloud? Okay, very good. It is the first picture. And then the second picture is the Altostratus cloud. Okay, good. Cumulus clouds. Cumulus clouds are puffy clouds that sometimes look like pieces of floating cotton. The base of each cloud is often flat and maybe only 1,000 meters above the ground. The top of the cloud has rounded towers. When the top of the cumulus resembles the head of cauliflower, it is called cumulus congestus or towering cumulus. Just like here in this picture. Okay. These clouds grow upward and they can develop into a giant cumulonimbus, which is a thunderstorm cloud. Okay, just like this. Okay, from the suffix nimbus, which means rain. Clouds that form near the ground are called fog. Fog can form when the ground cools at night after a humid day. So when we say humid, it is high level of water vapor in the atmosphere. Okay, do you understand? Cirrocumulus clouds are small rounded puffs that usually appear in a long row high in the sky. Cirrocumulus are usually white but sometimes appear gray. Cirrocumulus cloud, which looks like cotton balls, often indicates that a storm is on its way. So if you see this kind of clouds, it means, okay, there's a storm coming. Okay, so remember this type of cloud. Stratus clouds. Clouds that form in a flat layers are known as stratus clouds. From the Latin word strato, meaning spread out. Stratus clouds usually cover all or most of the sky and are dull, gray color As stratus clouds thicken, they may produce drizzle, rain, or snow. They are then called nimbostratus clouds.